say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
You are now entering the Sportsdrip podcast. Brought to you by JCA Sports. Jose and Enrique Contreras.
Yes, we are back. The Brothers of Destruction of combat sports, of the JCA sports world. Jose Contreras and Ricky Contreras, we are the Contreras brothers, and we are back for another edition of Sports Drip Live, brought to you by JCA Sports. Ricky, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Going on, not much. A lot to discuss.
We have a lot.
You and I were both contemplating if we should go live. It's pretty late. It's 11 o'clock here in Chicago, or Chicago time, or we should just record it, post it tomorrow as a pre-recorded episode. But so much has come out today. Breaking news. So much has come out today. We both decided we have to go live.
Yeah.
Whether you guys are here with us or not, we're live here on the Jocko Navi Sports page on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Twitter, live on all 4 platforms. And of course, follow us on Anchor, Spotify, as this episode will be released tomorrow.
Yep.
Sorry, my audio went out.
I was about to say, couldn't hear you, brother.
Right. All right, here we go. We're back. All right, cool. So let's get right into it because there's so much to unpack here. So much to unpack here. And let's start off with the breaking news that we've got with the chairman of the WWE, Vince McMahon. I won't say I'm surprised, Ricky, but I'm kind of not.
I'm there with you. When I heard that.
Vince McMahon's always had that persona, at least in the character role, where he was like, the big boss, but yet, he was, he was attracted to young, beautiful women.
Yep.
And, he always had that character, you know what I mean, where he would play off as he's paying them off to be with him and stuff like that. And it seems like that's the case in real life. Because
art imitating, art. I guess art was imitating life after all.
Yeah, art imitating reality. Because there's a report. You guys can go on ESPN. This is where I read it. The report that the WWE board opens an inquiry into CEO Vince McMahon's alleged $3 million settlement for an ex-employee's silence. The board of WWE is investigating a secret $3 million settlement that Vince McMahon agreed to make a former employee over an alleged affair, according to the Wall Street Journal, which reported that today. The separation agreement, which was signed in January, is meant to prevent the non-former employee from discussing her relationship with McMahon or making disparaging comments about him, according to the Wall Street Journal. An email sent to the WWE board members on March 30th indicates that the 76-year-old Vince McMahon hired the former staffer, who was 41, on a $100,000 salary and then gave her a raise up to $200,000 salary after the start of an alleged sexual relationship with her. The report citing documents and the accounts of people familiar with the board inquiry said that the board's investigation began in April and has uncovered other non-disclosure agreements over the years involving misconduct claims from former employees against both Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, WWE's head of talent relations. Wow. This is a big story. This is gonna cause some traction, Ricky.
And it came out of nowhere too.
Out of nowhere.
Like an RKO.
Yeah, exactly. exactly like an RKO.
Exactly.
Wow. So the email sent to the board regarding the former WWE employee who was hired as a paralegal back in 2019 alleged that McMahon gave the woman to Laurinaitis like a toy. Well, quote unquote, like a toy. The board is investigating the email's allegation to report stated the Wall Street Journal reported that the board has retained the law firm Simpson, Thacher, and Bartlett to conduct the investigation and the payments of other non-disclosure agreements outside of the one involving the former employee have totaled in millions of dollars.
Oh boy.
Yeah, WWE is a publicly traded company, but McMahon still holds a majority of the shareholders' voting power. So, where do we begin?
This is a company that hates bad PR and tries to avoid it.
Yeah.
This has got to be probably the worst because this involves the man himself, the CEO, the guy that's been there for decades.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon. I'm with you, man. I don't know what to say. I think I'm surprised that this news came out, but as far as if with the allegations or whatever, I'm not shocked either.
Yeah, the biggest question is what happens here. If for those, and I don't want to make light of the situation, especially if this just came out for a reason. I'm hoping. This wasn't. How can I say? I don't know how to say this the right way, Ricky, but I'm hoping this wasn't. I'm hoping this wasn't like a sexual harassment kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like if the former employee agreed to have sexual relations with Mr. Man for more money, you know what I mean? If that's the case, so be it. But I'm hoping he didn't. You know what I mean? Like.
I mean, from what it sounds like, it was probably consensual between him and whoever this person was, and not only that, I don't know if I heard you mention this, but they also discovered a lot more.
Really?
And non-disclosure agreements. They discovered a lot more as they were investigating.
Yeah.
So
totaling up to millions of dollars.
Yeah. So that's what it sounds like. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know what's gonna happen, what's gonna come out of this. But I guarantee you this: somebody's gonna fall for this, and it definitely ain't gonna be Vince McMahon.
Well, okay, look, that's the thing, though. Does something like this, and this is what I'm saying. I don't mean to make light of the situation because a lot of people for years wanted McMahon out. Does something like this finally make that happen? Because again, as you mentioned, like bad PR, it's a publicly owned company. This is bad PR, and this is the owner himself, Vince McMahon. He can't be in this company in the limelight anymore. If this is all to be true.
Yeah, I mean, could this be the thing that finally leads him to step down because of all the negative PR that might come out of this? Because this just came out today, so we really don't know the full story.
Right.
We'll probably know more tomorrow or within this coming week. But yeah, man, I'm with you. We can only speculate right now what'll happen, but yeah, this is involving the man himself, the guy who's been running this company for decades. This is not just another wrestler or another yes man in his company. This is the guy himself. So this is pretty crazy news coming out today.
Very crazy news.
And another thing too, if you heard about Stephanie McMahon.
Right.
She took a leave of absence. She was part of the board. She's always been part of the board. The board has been investigating Vince, and she took a leave of absence. She left that role. What was it, like a few weeks ago?
Yep.
And that's a coincidence.
It all makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense. She's got to know what was going on.
Exactly. Well, because they've been investigating this from what it says in the article since April. So yes, she's known what's been going on. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, especially if she took a leave of absence. I think she kind of knows what writing's on the wall here.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'd be shocked if Vince McMahon's still considered owner, CEO. I mean, if he's gonna run it, he can't be part of anything anymore. He can't.
Yeah, and then that's why there's that guy Nick Khan there too, man. I mean, there's already a guy there, and man, it's hard to tell right now, man. But yeah, not good.
WWE has issues.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. We do this every week, right? When we do the show, where I send you a text message. We were gonna originally talk about Cody's injury, Roman Reigns being part-time, and how that's creating a problem for WWE creatively. And then remember what I said at the end of the text and other problems with WWE.
Right.
At the time, I didn't even know that this was going on. Little did we know that those other problems is much bigger than the ones we were really going to talk about.
Yes. So for those who just joined, of course, this is the sportsdrip live podcast alongside my brother Enrique Contreras, my name is Jose Contreras. Again, we weren't planning on going live today, guys, but we felt like we had to because of breaking news with Vince McMahon, CEO of the WWE. There is a report from the Wall Street Journal mentioning that there's a former employee, a staffer, a woman, who's claiming to have sexual relations with Mr. McMahon in an affair, and him paying her for it. She started off with the company as a staffer for $100,000 a year. And end up getting an extra $100,000, so she was making $200,000 for those sexual relations with Vince McMahon. She's also went on and said that he passed her along like a toy to other people in his, I guess, circle, like John Laurinaitis, who is head of talent. So he's basically pimping her out, for lack of a better word. He's pimping her out to his boys around, his inner circle. And again, this is supposed to be the guy who's the head of the company. This is a publicly owned company. I mean, McMahon, like as I mentioned earlier, he holds most of the shares on that board, but this is not a good look for the WWE at all.
No, and it's crazy too because I remember it was probably maybe a week ago that I saw a tweet from Nia Jax, who used to work there, and she would mention about those perverted old men there in WWE. So this ain't no coincidence, man. This isn't something. If anything, this isn't nothing new. This is probably something that's been going on for a very long time there.
That's what
we know. Yeah. No, and then now it's just barely now everything's gonna come out, and more. There's gonna be more to come. So this is something that we're definitely gonna follow.
Yeah, it's not going away anytime soon because again, there's reports that there's way more other settlements that he has made worth millions of dollars to other former employees. Not a good look. And we were just discussing, Rick, as you mentioned earlier. No. Eric from the JCA Sports Podcast, EFP Podcast, part of the JCA crew here. To be honest, I'm not surprised. That is exactly what me and Ricky opened up with. Ricky, you're not surprised. Can't say I'm surprised.
Oh man, I still remember all those segments with Trish Stratus, with
Stacey
Keibler, Tori Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Mr. McMahon character.
One, yeah.
Yeah, Trish Stratus was the more controversial one. I remember.
Yeah,
and especially today. Everybody looking back on it now, it doesn't look good. They don't look good. Look really good on that right now. But so the Mr. McMahon character and the Vince McMahon in real life doesn't seem like there's too many differences there.
Right. You said it perfectly. It's art imitating reality.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
wow. And then him paying people off to shut up and stay quiet. NDAs. Not surprised by that either, because if anything, I also remember the whole rumor with Jimmy Snuka and how he apparently murdered his girlfriend in a hotel, and there was rumors, people saying that Vince McMahon walked into the police station with a suitcase. No one knows what was in that suitcase, but then after Vince McMahon left, charges were dropped at the time for Jimmy Snuka. So not surprising, man.
We're diving into a rabbit hole we shouldn't be diving into right now.
This is a rabbit, bro. I'm not shocked, bro. This is all shit you can look up. Look it up, man. If you don't know, now you know.
Eric got a comment in the locker room thing where he came out sweating. Oh, he's sweating now, that's for sure. So again, won't be surprised if he look, especially nowadays in today's world, cancel culture is real. You can't. Like this isn't the early 2000s. This isn't the 90s anymore. That doesn't fly. Stuff like that doesn't fly anymore. Like this will get you canceled. This brings so much negativity to the WWE. There has to be a change, and maybe there's no silver lining to stuff like this. But we were just you and I were just going to come on and talk about the problems creatively that they're going to start having with their top stars like Roman Reigns, who is now just a part-time wrestler. He's no longer full-time. He's now a part-time wrestler. You don't really see him as much anymore. And he's your double champ. He's the one who holds both belts.
Exactly.
But yet he's a part-time. How that makes sense, I have no idea.
He's another Brock Lesnar.
Right. And he's your double champ. And then you have Cody Rhodes, who was supposed to be kind of like the next big thing, stepping into that role, and as a babyface, is now out for 9 months with that torn pec. They've had problems. And not to mention the drama that we're about to get into with Sasha Banks and Naomi. For those who don't know, Eric, their favorite wrestler, Sasha Banks, there's rumors that she has been released by WWE. We don't know if it's true or not, but it's been all over Twitter.
It's all over. As I'm looking, more and more, as I'm looking right now on Google, more and more articles are coming out that she's been released. So it looks like the rumors are, so far, looks like they're looking like they're being true. She's been released. Sasha Banks. And out of all days, too, I mean, what a day for WWE today, man. And
that's what I'm saying. We have to come on live and talk about this. This WWE, but it's not looking good. And I was just praising them a little bit a couple weeks ago, saying, you know what, product hasn't been that bad. With the signing of Cody Rhodes, it's all been positive. We knew how big time, how big ticket money Roman Reigns is.
Yeah.
But now you don't see him anymore. At least not as much. Cody Rhodes will be gone for a pregnancy, basically pregnancy time, and then you have these issues with Vince McMahon. Again, if we're going to talk creatively, hopefully they get him out. They get all his guys out. You bring in people who have fresher ideas, who can work with the talent, because there is a lot of talent that can carry the company. You still have stars like Edge, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. You're just not doing anything with them.
Right, but who will take that spot, man? That's the big question right there. We always thought it would be Triple H. It doesn't. I mean, it's already clear that he's not going to take the reins. Stephanie is already out of the company. Shane McMahon's out of the company now. So it's not looking good all around. Even if Vince McMahon was to go away, Nick Khan knows nothing about wrestling, man. He only knows about business. So it's just looking uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty right now.
My boy Prada says they're gonna sell, bro. Disney will.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly.
It's looking more like that. They're gonna have to, because again, with all the news going on with Mr. Man, PR is bad. They're gonna have to sell maybe to something like Disney, which I'm not mad at that. If Disney doesn't own them, you can't make it worse. At least I don't think you can make Disney worse.
Disney though.
Hey, look.
It's gonna be It's gonna be more Mickey Mouse than.
I wouldn't say that, Ricky. If you look at Disney, and I get it, this is two different. But if you look what Disney's been able to do on the Hollywood side with their purchases of Marvel and Star Wars, they've been doing a great job. Getting the right people to run those type of, platforms, those type of entities. Like as I mentioned, maybe they get the right person, someone wrestling savvy, someone who's able to use the talent as they should. You keep Nick Khan and everybody else profit-wise, because the WWE is profitable. We know this. It makes money. You just got to do something with that talent.
Well, yeah. Let's see what. Yeah, I think now more than ever, it's probably gonna. I mean, because we already knew that they were already planning on selling. We just didn't know when that was gonna happen. I think now probably gonna speed it up now with all the shit that's going on.
I don't know if someone like Triple H will step in after stuff like this with Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? Because I think
already left. His wife already left.
Right, exactly. I think they're gonna try to get away from that family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also don't think it'll be good on his heart either. The man almost died.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he wants to take. Not. It wouldn't be a smart choice for his health to be, to take control of this, the shit going on in that company.
They're way too focused on profits, and that's always been their issue. It's always been their issue. They'll cut down, they'll fire hella talent. They won't know how to use them, then they'll fire them, get rid of them. They'll use the same old stars over and over. They'll bring in part-timers like Goldberg, Brock Lesnar to come in, sell some tickets, and then it's over with. If Triple H didn't have that ticker in his heart, they'll probably overusing him as well.
Yeah.
Undertaker, they literally brought Undertaker to his last legs. The man couldn't even. He couldn't even do the old school walk the ropes anymore. You know what I mean? Like it was a shell of himself. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, and then now one of their top stars is part time.
Yeah, the top star.
The top star. Yeah,
the best thing you have going for you right now.
Yeah, and now he's part time. He's going to come to work when he wants. And if anything, I'm thinking he has one foot out the door anyway because he has connections with The Rock in Hollywood. He's talked about wanting to be an actor, and once he leaves, man, that's why the timing of Cody Rhodes' injury is probably couldn't be any worse.
Couldn't be any worse. I think Eric says he doesn't think you need that real life emotions where swearing is sort of needed, and they can do that. I think Disney will allow them to. Obviously, the thing is, you don't see the controversial storylines we used to see in wrestling, period, anymore. Because, again, cancel culture is real, and especially if you're trying to get away from something as negative as which is going on right now with Vince McMahon, you're not going to get into some controversial storylines. So get that out the window. What does it for me are good promos and great matches. You have talent that can do it. The thing is, the promos are always scripted in WWE. They're not really given the amount of time to put on great matches, and when they do, that's even scripted from the man and those guys that are on the board. They tell them, hey, we want this person to dominate, or we want this person to do this. So, like, it's not like AEW where they really get to choreograph everything. WrestleMania, you saw that. On WrestleMania, the reason why I believe it was so good almost every single match, because it felt like they all got a chance to choreograph their matches the way they wanted to, and you saw that in each match. It was fantastic. The Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, the first one they had at WrestleMania was amazing because you got to see these two guys putting their brains together and putting that effort into it. That's what they're lacking.
Yeah,
that's what they're lacking.
Yeah, that and then they don't, like you said, they don't let them go out there and actually deliver the promos like they want them to. They got to read from a script word for word.
Yeah,
and it comes very robotic, unauthentic, and this and that, and then plus they're not allowed to do anything outside. They say they're independent contractors, but they treat them like employees. So morale backstage in that company is very low.
Yep.
And then we'll get into it. We'll get into it with the Sasha Banks situation too. That's another example of how she's been unhappy for a very long time, and creative has screwed around with her. I think she's one of their top stars too. And they just lost another one.
Yeah. Probably said Triple H lost the Wednesday Night Wars. They won't give him the reins. Yeah, I agree. You can't see. The thing is, I don't know if it's that Triple H lost the Wednesday Night Wars. I just think AEW was just the hottest thing going. Because before it was AEW, NXT I thought was the best product out there between the three WWE brands. Then AEW comes out and it's just like the new. You know what I mean? It's just like that new girl that comes in, and you're like, damn, who is this? You know what I mean? You're just kind of like infatuated with her because she's new, right? You've had the same old for so long, and boom, there she is, right?
Right.
I kind of feel like that's what it was for AEW.
No. I think for sure, Triple H not putting a stop to AEW's rise, definitely. He lost a lot of power because Vince McMahon, everything stopped. The buck stops with Vince McMahon. He makes the final decision. When he said, "I want to put NXT on USA, directly competing with AEW Dynamite," he did it for a reason. He gave the task to Triple H. Here, stop their growth. Put do what you can to make sure this company does not, rise or get any better or something like they're getting more viewers. And that isn't what happened. AEW was beating them in viewership almost every week.
Yeah.
And to Vince McMahon, that's failure. And Vince McMahon doesn't love to fail. He doesn't like to fail.
Well, he's failing right now. especially with the allegations that are going on right now.
Oh yeah.
I agree with Prada. I think this all works out in the end. Cody Rhodes will win the Royal Rumble because he is slated to come back 9 months, which will be in January. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Take the strap.
Yeah, they're looking to make him the next big top babyface in that company. At
Yeah.
least that was the plan, and I think that still is the plan when he comes back.
And he was a great heel. For those, I followed Cody for a long time. He's even a really good heel. He's a great heel.
Well, I don't. Oh, he hasn't been wanting to be a heel for a while.
I get it. Right? Ticket sells. You know what I mean? When you're a babyface, and
right, and they already have their top heel. That's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the top guy, top heel. Now they're trying. I think Cody Rhodes was the guy that Vince McMahon has been looking for all along in the top babyface. They wanted Roman Reigns in that position, and he obviously is not a babyface. He's a much more of a killer badass heel. Cody Rhodes is the clean cut, dresses nice, gives these babyface promos. He fits the role for top babyface.
Yep.
So he made the right decision going to WWE, man. Honestly,
he did. It was a great decision. You weren't gonna be the top guy in AEW when you have guys like CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, who we haven't seen in a while. Chris Jericho's still there. He's not gonna be bigger than those guys. You can't be. But in WWE, when they're lacking top stars, and you get paid more money. I mean, it's a win-win situation for him. You listen to the Sports Drip Live podcast. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Follow us on Anchor and on Spotify. You can catch our edited episodes on there for sure. And even on YouTube, you guys can watch this particular show over and over and over and over again, as long as you want. As long as you want to see me and Ricky on the screen. But yeah, we're gonna get into. Hold on, real quick. Before we get to Sasha, my boy Prada says, "Y'all think Bray comes back?" I hope so.
I heard rumors, but I don't think he is, man.
What rumors did you hear?
I heard rumors that he might have. I heard rumors that he was probably going to show up at Hell in a Cell during the Cody and Seth match.
Yeah,
that was rumors that I read. Obviously, turned out to not be true, but I don't think he comes back, man. I think he's burned out from wrestling.
I don't know. He's been putting on subliminal messages on social media saying that he's ready to come back. I think it's true that he was a little bit burned out, but you get that itch. You know what I mean? Once you start to get that itch, and you get the love for the game back.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. I do see him coming back. I would like to see him go to WWE. I feel like AEW is just signing way too many guys. They need to start working with what they got because they have so much talent there already. Just leave it alone. Just work with it.
Yeah. I don't think it would be a good idea for him to go to AEW.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, he'll get lost in the shuffle.
Which sucks because again, I don't blame Tony Khan for re-signing all those guys. Like someone like Samoa Joe, guys like Samoa Joe, like CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole. Those are guys you want on your roster, 100%.
Right.
You
got to pick, but you got to pick and choose, man. You got to go out there, get the best of the best, because you can't get these other guys, these other smaller guys from other promotions or whatever.
I get that, but what happens is the stars that you were trying to build from the beginning start to lose their credibility. Like, you don't see much of Darby Allin. He needs to be a big commodity. What happened? You don't see as much of him anymore. And then you have Sammy Guevara, who you do see every Rampage. You'll see him. They do stuff with him. And Scorpio Sky, you can tell that they're building him up as well. Miro just came back, but he's been cleared from injury for months now. Now they just brought him back, and it's like, okay, what are you doing with Miro? You know what I mean? That's the issue. That's the issue. They need to stop signing guys. If you're going to sign more talent, let it be women talent, like someone like Sasha Banks, which we get into the next topic, because there's rumors out there, Ricky, on social media that she has been released.
Yep, and it's looking like it's legit, for sure.
It's looking like it's legit. How surprised are you?
Not really surprised, bro, because we talked about this on the show before. She's been unhappy with WWE for a very long time now. And then especially the thing that just happened with her losing her WrestleMania main event spot against Charlotte because Ronda Rousey wanted to come back. They gave it to her. So, and then for a make good, they gave her the tag team titles with Naomi. and she was promised this and that she was gonna, put on some 5-star matches, defending the belts with other tag teams, but then they come around and tell her that she's gonna lose. She's gonna fight Ronda Rousey at the next pay-per-view and lose, and it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to her. It didn't make sense to me either, and to everyone that is a fan of Sasha Banks. I mean, to me, it's not surprising that. I mean, and plus we don't know if she requested the release or if WWE released her because of, of course they couldn't have been too happy that she walked out on, right before Monday Night Raw started that 1 week.
Right. Again, she's a star. We know this.
Yes.
Sasha Banks has been one of the I guess the pillars in the women's division in WWE for a very, very long time. The Women's Revolution, when that first came up, she was a huge part of it.
I believe she's a bigger star than Charlotte Flair. But they pushed Charlotte Flair so high because obviously she's the daughter of Ric Flair, man. So she was gonna get that spot regardless. But
okay, hold on.
I believe she's a bigger star than Charlotte Flair.
That's a good debate. That's a very good debate. Is Sasha Banks a bigger star than Charlotte Flair? It's a big debate because I don't deem that to be true. I think Charlotte Flair.
I'm tired of Charlotte Flair, bro.
I get it. No, wait, I get it. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Charlotte Flair to me is like the women version of Roman Reigns, right? They're trying to shove her down your throat like they did Roman Reigns. He was a babyface. Yeah. But that doesn't mean she doesn't belong in that role. I think she does.
No, she belongs. She totally belongs in that role. I agree with you there. I agree with you. She belongs there.
She belongs there because again, you mentioned it. She is the daughter of the 16-time world champion, one of the biggest stars in the company, Ric Flair.
Nature boy Ric Flair.
The way she was built, the way she looks, she's money. She's money. They just don't know how to use her. That's the issue.
You're talking about Sasha, right?
No, we're talking about Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair, no, dude, they push Charlotte, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Flair's right now she's away, with Andrade. But before that, she was on the show every week. I don't know how they're trying for her to beat her father's record in title reigns. So, dude, they more than pushed her up to that card.
Again, what I'm saying is that she is the female version of Roman Reigns, where they're trying to shove her down your throat, but that is not her fault. She belongs in that spot. She belongs in that spot as one of the top, if not the top women wrestlers in that corporation. The thing is, they just don't know how to use her. Like Roman Reigns for so long, we wanted him to become heel, and look at that coming into fruition. Charlotte is always a heel. You never really see her as a babyface. That is where she thrives. You rarely see it, and then she's always in the title contention, or she's always beating someone to be the champion. And you mentioned it. The reason is because they want her to beat her father's record. And I feel like the reason why they're rushing it because there is potential that she might leave the company in the future. At least that's how I feel.
But let me say this: when it comes to Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, if you want to talk about drawing power, at least for me, and maybe Eric agrees with me too.
Well, Eric said
when it comes to the women's division in WWE, whether she's a babyface or whether she's a heel, I always want to watch Sasha Banks. Period.
Okay.
I believe she's a bigger star. She should be a bigger star. She should have been treated like a bigger star. And I think she's a bigger draw than Charlotte Flair.
I don't think so.
Heel, babyface or heel, I still want to watch Sasha Banks. I think she's great.
Okay, so let's get into the comments because there's really good points in the comments. Eric says they did my girl bogus talking about Sasha Banks. She asked for the release and it was on her Instagram and the Twitter, but then deleted it. He said he agrees with you, Ricky. Probably says she has more mainstream. Eric says, fuck yeah, by a mile, #boss. Yes, but Sasha is more talented.
I agree.
This is where I agree with Prada. Charlotte's problem is she hasn't evolved her gimmick. It's only been just being the daughter of Ric Flair. That I agree with 100%. And I don't think that's her wanting to always play that role. I think that's just Vince and and the creative team there. They want her to always play that role because again, they don't have a star like Ric Flair So why not have the female version who is also his daughter, right? And that is the issue. I think Charlotte Flair is in a perfect role where she needs to be one of the top females there because she has the look, she has the charisma, she has the in ring
I don't
capability.
know about charisma, but
She has it.
Sasha Banks has charisma for days.
No, come on, man.
Charlotte Flair, look, bro. Every time Charlotte Flair's on TV, I just don't want to watch. Bro. Like, okay.
Again, you guys have fatigue.
I changed the channel.
It's fatigue, and I understand it. I understand.
And now Ronda Rousey took her place. I don't want to watch Ronda Rousey either, bro.
That is the issue, right? That is the issue. Bianca Belair is a great talent. You have stars. The thing is, what the issue is, what WWE does always is that they're always trying to push the same wrestlers down your throat. It's either in the women's division, it's always going to be either I'm sorry, it's either always going to be Charlotte and Becky. That's it. Those two are always going to be pushed down your throat every single time. They'll throw nuke opponents at them, whether it's Bianca Belair, Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel fatigue for Becky Lynch too, man. A little.
Yes,
bit.
exactly.
I'm feeling that too.
Exactly. But not so long ago, people were in love with her because she was the man. She had the great gimmick. But that's the issue. It's just fatigue. We see the same women over and over and over again, like we do on the men's side when they're always pushing Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg every SummerSlam and Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? They're bringing the same. John Cena going to be coming back for SummerSlam every SummerSlam.
I told you guys John Cena was coming back SummerSlam, bro. Exactly. I told you it was going to happen.
Exactly, and that is the issue with WWE. They don't use the talent that they have to be able to, you know what I mean, to be able to create a great product for their fans. They don't do it.
Yeah,
they don't do it. And that's why we have fatigue, and that's why this Sasha Banks release is to me is disappointing because again, she is somebody who could be that next Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? When Becky was so over for so long because she wasn't realized in that role that she is in now. But then once people started to realize that, hey, we can get her into this role, they fell in love with her.
Yeah. And
Sasha Banks should have been the same person, but every time they put her up there, they do her bogus. She always ends up right away losing her title to either Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and
Ronda
Rousey. So it's like,
yeah, that upsets me the most. That Ronda Rousey took her spot, man.
Right.
That upsets me the most. I get it that she's the bigger star, but I don't want to watch Ronda Rousey. So
I don't either. Yeah. Eric said she plays both cards perfectly. Sasha Banks, she does. She's very good at it as a heel and as a babyface. Probably says the fact that they never made the four horsemen. The fact that they never made the four horsewomen as an actual stable, very disappointing. Probably, I agree. Eric said he doesn't mind Becky Lynch. You don't mind her. It's because you don't really see, watch the product and you'll start to realize that she's another Charlotte Flair.
I mean, she got over organically when she did. That was when Nia Jax punched her in the face, legit, busted her open, and she got over with the fans organically. And that was at a time they had no plans for Becky Lynch. They were jobbing her out.
Exactly.
Now they saw the popularity and everything with her, and then like WWE does with everything, when they see something that works, they just push that shit down your throat.
They don't do it with everything because they didn't do it with Rusev when he was over with the WWE fans. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And they had the gimmick with what was his name? His partner. I can't think of it. He's married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter. What is his name?
I forgot, man.
What the hell is the guy's name?
Aiden English. There we go. That
you
was
sure?
His name. Aiden English. That was his name.
Aiden English?
I know because he had the same name as my son. Yeah.
That sounds wrong, but okay. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Well, look it up. I mean, I think that's what his name was. But yeah, they put them together. They didn't think it was gonna get over, and it got over, man. I enjoyed that little run.
Rusev Day was a stable. It was him and Rusev.
Day, yeah.
I think it was Aiden English. And yeah, it was Rusev Day. And that got over, but they didn't do anything with it. That was
because they don't see Rusev.
It is AD. Okay, so probably was Aiden English. Okay, cool. Yeah,
they never saw him. They never saw him in that. They never saw him as a star. They never saw him in that role. They just wanted to keep him as the heel, the foreign heel, and what a waste, man. I'm glad Rusev left and went to AEW.
Are you though? Because they're not doing anything with him over there either. He just barely.
Ronda Rousey is horrible on the mic.
Yeah,
that's what. Yes, she's even horrible at voice acting. I still play Mortal Kombat 11 every now and then, and she's the voice of Sonya. Horrible, cringe.
She was a great UFC fighter though.
She was until she fought a striker.
Yeah, we will be getting into some UFC 275 at near around like maybe in 10 minutes or so. But you listen to Sports Drip by podcast alongside my brother Enrique Contreras, my name is Jose Contreras, and we're talking wrestling, talking WWE. We're gonna get into some AEW. The one thing AEW, I guess we could talk about right now, Ricky, is the fact that Jeff Hardy is in the news again.
Oh God!
Not for a good reason. He's been he was pulled over again for another DUI charge. He's been suspended from the company, and now here we are. Different company, same issue with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
You know, he has issues with alcohol. He has alcohol issues, and here we are talking about him being suspended from the company again. Tony Khan has been offering, to get him into rehab, get him some treatment, but yet.
Yeah. Yeah. If you saw the video on TMZ, you can see that. They said that he was driving erratically in the freeway. Yeah. They pulled him over. Apparently, it almost looked like he was trying to take off on the cops, but it turns out that he couldn't even put the car in park. That's how messed up he was. And, yeah, and so they did that whole sobriety test thing. He failed, and so then they booked him. And yeah, this is sad, man. It's sad to see again that he's still going through this. But you can also look at it this way too. I mean, the dude's got to be in a lot of pain. If you've seen his recent matches in AEW, the way that he moves around,
he moves so slow.
Dude, he looks like he's in pain, bro. I mean,
they both do. The
Hardys, yeah.
The Hardys are themselves.
And then I question Tony Khan too, man, for his decisions to book this guy in constant ladder matches, constant no disqualification. You know Jeff Hardy's a daredevil. He's a stunt guy. He's gonna do these crazy
That's
things.
The thing. But that's the thing because of the way that they're not athletic as they used to be. So they're moving a lot slower. They have to overcompensate somewhere else in the ring because they don't have it anymore. Their bodies are breaking down, so they have to overcompensate somewhere, and they do it with those big time spots on ladders and tables from balconies. They got to do it on chairs, but they do that because they're just glorifying daredevils now, basically. You know what I mean? It's where it's at.
But you got to remember, man. These guys have been in there since the Attitude Era. We watched them,
right?
All the crazy bumps that they always used to do, and it's finally caught up to them now, and it doesn't make sense for them to keep hurting their bodies like that. I think that's what led to him getting back on the booze again.
Yeah,
he's got to be self-medicating.
Yeah,
they were scheduled for a ladder match earlier today. I haven't watched Dynamite yet, but the Hardys were scheduled in the triple threat ladder match against the Young Bucks and I think the Lucha Express, the Jurassic Express, and with this happening, they got pulled out of the match. But you think about it,
Yeah,
and then the last pay-per-view, I don't know if you noticed at Double or Nothing, Jeff Hardy came out with one of his boots not even all the way tied up. So maybe he was drinking before the match.
There was reports that he was in the arena and buildings, and it did seem a bit of intoxicated around the stadium, which it's wild, man. It's crazy. It sucks. It sucks. He says he needs to go away from wrestling for good. He needs to scan them for CET. That could be the sad truth, especially in that business. But they were supposed to win the belts. That's what it seemed like it was going to happen. If you're AEW, why wouldn't you want the Hardy Boys to hold your tag team champions? They've never done it before, so of course it brings some credibility to your company, to your tag team division. Hey, we had the Hardy Boys once as the AEW tag team champions. But they weren't really the Hardy Boys. They were, the shell of themselves. They're
a shell of themselves, yeah.
They're a shell of themselves. But I get why. I get why you do it. It's the same way. It's the same reason why you had Chris Jericho, your first AEW champion. Same exact reason why you do it.
Yeah, You want to put legitimacy to your belts.
Exactly.
And then, not to mention the Hardys, they were WWE Tag Team Champions, they were TNA Tag Team Champions,
Yep.
Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. So
Yep.
the AEW belts are the only ones that haven't won yet.
Exactly.
So, makes sense.
It makes it does. It makes perfect sense. I get it 100%, but
Yeah,
man, if you're Matt Hardy, how disappointing are you? You're like, you waited so long for this guy to finally come. This is supposed to be their last run because they came out and said this was going to be the last run together, and it gets derailed through the same issues that you're always going on with your brother.
Yeah, he's got to understand. I'm pretty sure he's upset, but he also understands his brother because he went through issues himself too.
Yeah, yes.
And thankfully he's good now. But yeah, addiction is it's a bitch, man.
Yeah, 100%. Listen to the Sports Drip Live podcast. We just got into some wrestling, talking WWE, AEW. Great topic. We can go for hours if we ever wanted to. Let's be honest. Jay White or Roman, Ricky? Prada wants to know.
Jay White or Roman?
Yeah.
As in, like what? The best wrestler today?
I'm assuming that's asking.
I know Jay White's pretty good, man. But I mean, Roman kind of cooled off since he's been away, but I've had Roman there for a while.
Yeah, he's the best wrestler today.
As far as character-wise, man, I enjoyed Roman's character for a long time. Jay White is probably a better wrestler.
A better in-ring performer for sure. Jay White, yeah. I agree with that. He's younger, better in-ring performer. But Roman for sure, that character, the tribal chief, it's just top notch, man. The guy can just stand in the ring, not say a damn word, and he'll get so much heat. Or he'll just say one line, acknowledge me, and the crowd, he gets a pop, and it works. It works. It's like even I fall for it.
It's the role he's always should have been for a long time.
It's a huge it's a complete 180 from the succotash quote 20 years ago.
The nursery rhymes and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was bad.
It was bad. It was really bad.
But yeah. I mean, yeah, he has cooled off a little bit because he hasn't been around. So yeah, I'll go with Roman.
Yeah, Paul agrees. Me too. He agrees the same thing. So yeah, I appreciate you watching, Paul, for sure, man. Let's get into some UFC 275, Ricky, real quick. We got about 12 minutes left on the show.
We'll go through it.
Let's get right to it. Zhang Lu versus Joanna. You gotta help me with this last name, man. You're way better than pronouncing these names than I am, for sure.
I know this one's a little difficult for me too, but it's young Jacek.
Joanna Jacek. Zhang Lu, what happened? What did you see here?
Woo, man. It was a good fight, man. It was a good fight, but then Zhang Weili just came out of nowhere with that spinning back fist. Landed flush on Joanna's chin. She went out. She fell forward and she was out. It was a good back and forth leading up to it. And Zhang Weili, with this win, man, she's definitely getting the next title shot against Carla Esparza, and I think she is. I pick her to win. So she's definitely on the quest to win that title back, and I think she will.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. She's been on a tear as of late in this last fight, and the way she won it definitely proves that case that she does definitely deserve another title shot. And I agree 100%. Momentum is key, especially in the fight world. Once you win one fight in the way you did, you have momentum going into the next. But she has a tough opponent, Ricky. That the champion is no slouch.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I still favor Weili to win that one, man. She's gonna when that fight eventually gets booked, and I think it will pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with that knockout, she's gonna get the next title shot. As far as Joanna, she goes into retirement, and no shame in what she's accomplished, man. She's a former UFC champion herself in the strawweight division, with the most consecutive wins in that division as well, and the first Polish champion in that company. So she has a lot to look back on and to be proud of, and hopefully she enjoys her retirement in the next phase in her life.
Yeah, Parsons, he remembers when she couldn't lose. Yeah, she was that dominant.
Yeah, she was bad. Yeah, until she ran. I assume he's talking about Zhang Weili, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, until she got that kick from Rose Namajunas in that first fight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was an amazing fight. Not the second, the rematch, not so much.
Yeah, the rematch wasn't so much. But yeah, Doug Wells humbled their ass. He said for sure.
And I think they will fight again,
No,
especially if Wiley wins that belt. But I wasn't thrilled with the rematch. So hopefully, if they do meet up again for the third time, it'll be better.
it should be. It should be. Both of them are very talented for sure. Moving on to the co-main event, Ricky Valentina Shevchenko. She managed to retain her 125-pound title, earning a split decision win over a very game Talia Santos. And the process,
Very
gave
very good.
her consecutive title defense, number 7, passing Ronda Rousey in the record books. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. What did you see here?
Man, Valentina struggled a lot in this fight. She was getting taken down and she was getting mauled on the ground. She was getting held there. It really looked really troubling for her going, during the duration of this fight. It wasn't until an accidental headbutt that landed on Santos, I believe, her right eye, broke her orbital bone, and I think that turned that turned the tide right there. And basically, Valentina was still pretty sharp on the feet. She was landing her strikes. She supposedly did enough with that, but I think that that broken orbital bone really slowed Tyler Santos down, and she lost a split decision. Some people say it was controversial. Some say that the headbutt probably was the reason that Valentina is still the champion. I don't hear you, bro.
My bad.
There you go.
Yeah, I was muted. No, you have a point, Ricky, but she came out on top. She's the winner. She's the champ. But what's next for her? What happens here? What do you think? Where do you think she goes? Who's the next title to defend?
I think they're gonna do. I think they might do a rematch. Yeah. Santos is gonna need some time to recover from that orbital bone,
Yeah,
but because of how close, because of the trouble that she gave Shevchenko throughout this fight, and because of that accidental headbutt, and everybody questioning the decision, I believe a rematch is gonna happen. Might be next.
yeah. Good point. What about okay? So let's move on to the main event, which was a really good fight.
Yes.
Jiri Prochazka, Ricky, defeated Glover Teixeira for the heavyweight championship to become the heavyweight champion. What did you see here?
Light heavyweight champion. Yep.
The light heavyweight champion. My apologies. New light heavyweight champion, Jiri Prochazka. What did you see in this fight?
Great. This is probably the early candidate of fight of the year. This was a fucking great fight to watch.
I seen the highlights. It was a great fight for sure.
Yeah. Teixeira, look, Teixeira he made a lot of mistakes in this fight. All right. And Jiri Prochazka is the younger guy. He is a dynamic striker. He has power in his hands. He was landing too, and he was giving Teixeira problems in the early, in the stand up. But as the fight wore on and we got into the championship rounds, especially in the 5th round, that's when Teixeira was really connecting on the feet, with the hands, and he rocked Prochazka, knocked him back. Right, he hit him a couple more times, but he made a questionable decision. He decided to go for a guillotine, which was a mistake. I think that turned the tide for him. I think that changed everything right there, because as soon as he tried to go for it, they were still standing up. Prochazka was able to slip out of it really fast, like almost instantly, and he got top position. And and then they get back on their feet and they get it to the ground again. But by that point, Teixeira was just out. He had nothing left. He was out of gas. Prochazka came from behind, got the rear naked choke, didn't even sink in the hooks or anything with the legs, and Teixeira tapped out just like that. So, I mean, yeah, this Glover Teixeira, man, he was looking like the next Randy Couture to me. At his age, at 42, being very dominant. If it wasn't for that rear naked choke, because this was like in the last 30 seconds of the fight, I had Glover Teixeira winning by split decision in the cards, because there was only 30 seconds left. But Prochazka, he got his back and he locked in that choke, and by that point Teixeira was out of gas. So yeah, Jiri Prochazka, the new light heavyweight champion, great fight.
Absolutely great fight and a great show. What happens here? What's next for Prochazka? Do you see that rematch, or who do you think next for a title defense?
Hey, I won't complain about a rematch. I would love to see it again, but I believe Jan Blachowicz is the next guy next guy in line. I think he was in the crowd that night, and he called him out. So yeah, that's what it's looking like next. And then after with Glover Teixeira, we'll see what's next for him. I think Alexander Rakic might be his next opponent because that is who Blachowicz beat to get in line for this next title shot. So we'll see what happens here. And then probably since we're almost out of time, next week I wanna talk about the state of this light heavyweight division.
No, we will. But we'll have a brand new segment, Ricky. We'll create it just for you. I'll give you the whole 9.
Yeah.
We'll get graphics in there. Got you. Next week, the debut of this brand new segment. We'll name it. We'll have a title and name for it and everything, but it'll be here. Then we'll get into the state of the light heavyweight division for sure. But we will be back next week, guys. Hopefully we'll have more news.
Yeah, because you got to think about it, man. John Jones vacated the title.
Yep.
Since he vacated, we've had 3 champions.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about it next week. I want to talk about it more. But unfortunately, we're almost out of time.
Almost out of time, but for good reason. We had a great show today. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for commenting in the video. Again, you guys can watch Sports Drip live with my brother, Enrique, and myself. Every Wednesday, we will be live. You guys can catch our episodes, our previous episodes, current and future, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, Anchor, and Spotify. For Ricky, any words you want to say to everybody watching?
Yeah, guys, thanks for everybody that tuned in, that commented, that tuned in to watch us. 12 in the morning, late at night.
Yep.
Hey man, thanks a lot for the support, guys. We'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week better than ever, like we always are. For my brother Enrique Contreras, my name is Jose. Thank you guys for watching Sports Drip Live. See y'all next Wednesday.